Introduction. Nausea is not a traditional novel, it is a confrontation. Jean-Paul Sartre abandons plot-driven storytelling and replaces it with raw consciousness, unease, and philosophical discomfort. The story follows Antoine Roquentin, a man who begins to experience a profound sense of alienation from the world around him. Ordinary objects, familiar routines, and even language itself begin to feel unstable. What makes Nausea so unsettling is that nothing dramatic happens, yet everything changes. The novel became one of the foundational texts of existential philosophy, not because it explains ideas clearly, but because it makes readers feel them. Meaning collapses, certainty dissolves, and existence itself becomes overwhelming. In this video, we'll explore 20 existential facts you didn't know about Nausea, facts that reveal why this book still feels disturbing, relevant, and deeply uncomfortable decades after its release. Let's go. Fact 20. Existence feels heavy. One of the most unsettling ideas in Nausea is that existence itself feels overwhelming. Roquentin does not fear danger or tragedy. Instead, he feels crushed by the sheer presence of things. Ordinary objects, trees, stones, furniture, suddenly appear too real, as if they are intruding on his awareness. This sensation creates discomfort, not because something is wrong, but because nothing is hidden anymore. Reality appears without filters or explanations. What makes this existentially strange is that meaning usually protects us from this feeling. Names, habits, and routines soften existence. When those comforts collapse, reality feels excessive and unbearable. Sartre presents Nausea as the moment when existence reveals itself without justification. The discomfort is not physical illness, but awareness without illusion. Fact 19. Objects lose meaning. In Nausea, objects stop functioning as tools and begin existing on their own terms. A chair is no longer something to sit on, it simply occupies space. This shift removes usefulness from the world, leaving Roquentin surrounded by things that exist without purpose or intention. The weirdness lies in how unsettling this feels. Humans rely on usefulness to feel oriented in the world. Sartre shows that meaning is not built into objects, it is assigned by consciousness. When that assignment disappears, objects become unfamiliar and disturbing. This loss of meaning exposes how fragile our relationship with reality truly is. Fact 18. Language fails. Reality. Roquentin increasingly struggles to describe his experiences. Words feel imprecise and dishonest. Language no longer captures what he feels, it distorts it. Familiar terms fail to match raw experience. This breakdown highlights Sartre's belief that language comforts us by organizing reality. When it fails, existence feels exposed and chaotic. The novel suggests that words do not reveal truth, they protect us from it. Without linguistic structure, reality becomes overwhelming and unsettling. Fact 17. Time feels hollow. Time in Nausea lacks direction. Moments pass, but they do not build toward anything meaningful. Roquentin experiences time as loose and disconnected, not as progress. This hollow sense of time reflects life without purpose. Sartre suggests that time gains structure only through intention. Without goals or meaning, time becomes something endured rather than lived, reinforcing existential unease. Fact 16. History feels empty. Roquentin studies history but finds it strangely lifeless. Historical figures feel distant and meaningless, stripped of inspiration. This challenges the belief that legacy gives life value. Sartre suggests that meaning cannot be borrowed from the past. History records actions, not purpose. Meaning must be created in the present moment, or it does not exist at all. Fact 15. People feel artificial. Social interactions feel mechanical and scripted. People repeat behaviors and roles without reflection. The discomfort arises from recognizing how much identity depends on habit. Sartre exposes how individuals hide behind social performances to avoid confronting freedom. Authenticity becomes rare because it requires responsibility. Fact 14. Freedom causes fear. Freedom in Nausea is unsettling rather than empowering. Without predetermined meaning, choice becomes overwhelming. Sartre presents freedom as responsibility without excuse. Anxiety emerges when individuals realize no external force defines their purpose. Freedom is absolute and therefore frightening. Fact 13. Music creates order. A jazz record briefly comforts Roquentin. Music imposes structure where life lacks it. This moment suggests that art can temporarily create meaning. However, the relief does not last. Sartre implies that meaning can be formed, but never permanently secured. Fact 12. Isolation persists. Roquentin feels isolated even in public spaces. Physical presence does not create connection. This reflects existential solitude. Consciousness separates individuals, making understanding incomplete. Sartre presents isolation as unavoidable rather than tragic. Fact 11. Identity feels unfixed. Roquentin no longer experiences himself as stable or coherent. Identity feels fluid and uncertain. This instability reflects Sartre's rejection of fixed essence. The self is not discovered, it is continuously shaped. Identity exists only through action and choice. Fact 10. Meaning is optional. One of the strangest ideas in Nausea is that meaning is not necessary for existence. Things exist without reason, justification, or direction. Roquentin realizes that the world does not need explanation to continue. Meaning is not embedded in reality. It is something humans desperately add after the fact. This realization is disturbing because it removes comfort. If meaning is optional, then nothing guarantees purpose. Sartre is not saying life is meaningless by default. He is saying meaning must be created. This shifts responsibility entirely onto the individual, making existence feel both empty and terrifyingly open. Fact 9. Routine masks. Truth daily routines initially protect Roquentin from discomfort. Habits give structure and familiarity to existence. However, once nausea appears, routines lose their power. They no longer hide the strange nature of reality. Sartre suggests routines function as psychological shields. They keep deeper questions away. When those shields collapse, existence feels exposed. The weirdness lies in realizing that normal life only works because we don't think about it too closely. Fact 8. The body exists. First, Roquentin becomes aware of his physical presence before any emotional meaning. His hands, breath, and movements feel strange and separate. This focus reflects Sartre's belief that existence precedes interpretation. The body exists before identity, before purpose. Consciousness must catch up afterward. The unsettling part is realizing how little control we have over simply existing. Fact 7. Thought becomes threat. Thinking itself becomes dangerous in Nausea. Reflection no longer clarifies, it destabilizes. The more Roquentin thinks, the worse his discomfort becomes. Sartre shows that excessive awareness can dissolve certainty. Thought removes illusions, but offers no replacement. This makes consciousness both powerful and destructive, capable of undoing the very comfort it seeks. Fact 6. Loneliness is structural. Roquentin's isolation is not emotional, it is structural. Even among people, he remains fundamentally alone. Sartre suggests this solitude is unavoidable. Consciousness cannot be shared completely. The weirdness lies in realizing that connection is always partial and understanding is always incomplete. Fact 5. Freedom has weight. Freedom in Nausea is not celebrated. It feels heavy, demanding, and exhausting. Without predetermined roles, every action becomes a choice. This creates anxiety rather than joy. Sartre presents freedom as unavoidable responsibility. There is no external authority to blame. The discomfort comes from realizing we are always choosing, even when we try not to. Fact 4. Purpose is manufactured. Roquentin realizes that goals, careers, and ambitions are constructed, not discovered. They exist because people decide they matter. This realization undermines traditional ideas of destiny. Sartre suggests purpose is a creative act, not a natural one. The unsettling part is knowing purpose can disappear as easily as it appears. Fact 3. Existence is excessive reality, feels like too much, too present, too solid, too undeniable. Roquentin experiences existence as overflowing beyond necessity. This excess creates nausea. Sartre portrays existence as something that simply spills into being without restraint or reason. It's not hostile, just indifferent and overwhelming. Fact 2. Authenticity is rare. Most people live through roles, routines, and expectations. Authenticity requires confronting freedom directly, which few attempt. Sartre suggests society encourages avoidance of responsibility. True authenticity demands self-definition without guarantees. This makes it rare, difficult, and often uncomfortable. Fact 1. Existence comes first. The most radical idea in Nausea is that existence precedes meaning. Humans exist first and define themselves later. This overturns traditional philosophy and morality. There is no preset purpose waiting to be discovered. Sartre's message is unsettling but clear. Life does not explain itself. We must decide what it becomes. Closing remarks. Nausea remains one of the most unsettling philosophical novels ever written, not because of dramatic events, but because of what it reveals about everyday existence. Sartre strips away comfort, habit, and illusion to expose a world that exists without explanation. The novel offers no easy guidance and no emotional safety net. Instead, it demands awareness. Whether readers find it liberating or disturbing, Nausea refuses to soften its vision. It challenges us to confront freedom, responsibility, and meaning without external guarantees. If you've reached the end of this breakdown, you've engaged with 20 of the most unsettling ideas in modern literature. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this exploration of existential thought, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more deep dives into literature, philosophy, and the strange logic of human existence.